What up, what up, what up? Prime Mega New Trees representative full trees up. What's going on, y'all? Just wanted to check in, tap in with y'all real quick. It's a rainy day. You know, rainy days are good. You know, it lets my mind run. I get my creative energy. There's a vibe around rainy days for me. You know, and I don't know, today I was sitting here, I was thinking, you know, why people or how do people born into this world at the very top, meaning they never will really ever want for anything. Like they have the most money's money, as my grandpa used to say, he has money's money in the world. Like how, I wonder if that really activates the people that they really are. In other words, some people that are born into this world are not so nice. We know that. We know there's over 8 billion people in this world, and not everybody has the same perspective on life. And that goes for a lot of things that we see. Our environment, we're products of that. And some people just have a good heart regardless of where they're at status-wise or up along the totem pole. The reason why I bring up that question is because in my ambitions, in my endeavors, me trying to get somewhere in life, and I have these goals and these dreams, you know, what is the top? Where's the ceiling for me? You know, like I see a lot of people, or a few people, there's examples where people actually reach that ceiling. You know, case in point, Kanye. You know, in my eyes, he reached the top, you know, and to no avail. It's like, then does mental illness develop from that circumstance and that experience? Because he has, to me, and from what we see, he's bragging about billionaire status and stuff like that. And I'm like, is it worth it if you're suffering mentally? And again, that could have been something, a precursor that was already there. You know, I know he's been through a lot. You know, lost his mom and stuff like that, and you know, God bless him. You know what I'm saying? What I don't want it if it's gonna bring that, is my point. You know, I definitely want to strive for more. Not necessarily materialistic gains specifically. I'm looking for a spiritual enlightenment. Of course, I'm always trying to level up my body, you know, my mind, so that when these goals do hit, that I'm not caught off guard, and I'm not caught off guard, and I'm not like, you know, becoming somebody that I'm not even familiar with myself, let alone people around me. So I feel like I'm blessed in that I was born into this world with enough room to have perspective, in that I wasn't born from the bottom, and I definitely have room to look up at the top. So I can see where I'm at. I have room for growth, and I have room to respect my space here in the universe. And what I love about that position is that the people that raised me, you know, my mom, my dad, my uncles, my aunts, my grandfathers, my grandmother, you know, and even people I came up with, are all strong influences in the person that I am today. And I'm thankful how I came up, because that room for growth and improvement is a whole lot. And sometimes I often wonder, you know, how things will be when I do attain the goals that I have for myself in my mind and in my heart, you know. And I want to, and I've always told my friends and family, like, listen, if you notice me changing or something getting a little off about me, you have my full permission to check me right then and there, because I definitely want to stay grounded. I never want to forget where I come from. I love where I'm from. I love who I am. I love who I'm becoming. You know, it's almost like I can hold my own hand from the past and bring myself into the present, as well as reach down from the future. You know, I'm really becoming more and more in tune with myself. And I'm just, like I said, I'm thankful that I'm able to see that perspective. You know, that I'm from a working class. We get to it. You know, we get right to it. we have goals, we have things that drive us, and that's very important to have your, these dreams and goals. And I talk about this stuff on Motivation Monday, and I'm not just talking to be talking. Like, I live this, and I sometimes I sit and I dissect the things that I think about and why do I think that way? What drives me? And again, I think I've come to the conclusion is that, of course, it's a lot of my environment and the people that I've grown up with, the people that have raised me and taught me to be the person, the man that I am today. And that's what makes me who I am, and why I am thankful to be who I am. At some point, we go through these, stages, when you're in your teenage, early 20s, you're still trying to find yourself. And even now, to be honest, at the stage that I am, there's some things where I am still trying to find myself, in these different spaces now that are provided, these different platforms. I find new things, interesting things, not only on these different platforms and these different endeavors, I also find new things about myself within these spaces. And I get to check and see how I'm growing within these spaces. So, like I said, I don't know what it's like to be all the way at the top. I can imagine, like anybody else out there, as well as you can, what it's like to be that high up and to be able to look down from Mount Olympus and wonder what's going on the ground. But again, I like the space that I'm at right now because I can look down as well as I can look up. When you're all the way up, what else is there to see or strive for? And maybe, just maybe, that's just how can I put this? Maybe that's just all according to your own perspective. Even the people that are at the top, the people we look up to, still don't see the ceiling. They still haven't reached the limit, which is good, because I picture myself being that way. Because I know a lot of people, I won't say a lot, a few people kind of mention, they like what I do and they like where I'm going. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not even close. In my mind, I haven't taken 5 steps towards where I want to be. Maybe I might have taken a step, maybe, but I think from this stage of my life, it's about perspective, because perspective is good in that it will keep me locked in to always having something to strive for. And that's most important. God first, of course. But when you have these perspectives and when you're locked in, you never really see the ceiling, is what I'm getting. Some of us do, and you can see it, and some of the people that you look up to, that you follow, they're all humans, but they are too products of their own environment. And that is why it's very good to have some kind of a support system at some capacity. It don't necessarily have to be family, it could be friends. It's just someone out there that may keep you in tune. Maybe all you have is God. That's even cool. Long as you know how to get to God, and He knows how to get to you, but you know how to remain connected with the Most High, He also got you. That should be first and foremost, because I know everybody's living differently out here. But it's very good to keep strong perspective. Perspective keeps, like I said, keeps you on the ground even when you're elevating. It keeps you laser focused even in shady situations, because when you can't really see 5 steps in front of you, you're like, what am I doing in this situation? Perspective, man. Like, so I don't know. Like I said, rainy days, have me thinking these kind of thoughts. I wonder, because it's something that I look forward to as far as evolution and growth. But at the same time, I get weary. I don't know if I don't say that I stutter step or I hesitate, but I think, and I'm like, and sometimes you can think too much, but I always think myself into the situation like, all right, so when I get here, what's this going to look like? And how am I going to treat others around me? Or actually, how do I want to treat others around me? And the answer is the way that I treat people right now. Honestly, I would like to treat them even better. You know, I don't think I treat anybody bad at any capacity, but I'd like to, like any human being, I want to continue to get better. You know, as we advance in life, you just want to get better. You know, at whatever, you name it. You just want to continue to get better. You know, so just something to keep in mind. Perspective, because we all out here, you know, doing our thing. You know, our endeavors. We're all trying to increase and just advance as individuals, as men, women, human beings. You know, I feel like that's what we strive to, is just elevation at all around, you know, perspective. Keep that in mind. All right, it's your boy Prime Mega. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed day. Let's get it, y'all. Trees up.